I am tired. I am so tired. For the past 10 years or more, we have been fighting radical freaks who have infiltrated everything. They are in academia, our government, the companies we use every day for goods, services, and food, and our entertainment. Their influence is particularly felt in our entertainment. Fun and escapism are illegal. Everything has to be a propaganda piece hitting you over the head until you lose your fucking mind. Hollywood has more or less been completely captured by them. Hollywood? Hollywoke, more like. Gaming likewise has been under a sustained assault for years, but they're having a much harder time taking it over completely because gamers are fighting back. Gamers are refusing more and more to buy slop. Unlike with movies, you don't need to have high-level connections and millions in funding to create a hit game. On the Western Front, we have been seeing numerous examples over the last 2 years or so of small teams creating hit games that focus on fun and escapism without any ham-fisted political or social agendas. Game development tools are easier than ever to use, and all it takes is a few scrappy individuals with an idea, passion, and the determination to see things through to the end. On the Eastern Front, we're seeing the rise of Korea and China. Although Japan still gives us some decent games here and there, they have sadly begun to fall under the influence of woke Western ideologies. China and Korea are looking to be the future. We have already gotten several hit games from them in recent years. We've gotten Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade. Releasing soon, we have Lost Soul Aside, Vindictus Defying Fate, Tides of Annihilation, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, Crimson Desert, and I'm pretty sure that I'm forgetting a few more promising titles. Asia is stepping up to fill the void left by the West. They're giving gamers what they want because the big Western developers refuse to do it. We have had numerous victories over the years, but the fight is not over. We still have a long way to go. In the midst of these victories that we can celebrate, we're seeing the rise of a new enemy, the extreme anti-woke. Now, some of these people may simply be woke who are masquerading as anti-woke. They are bad actors deliberately engaging in a strategy known as poisoning the well. Their goal is to make the anti-woke look bad by making big issues out of nothing. Others, however, have become so paranoid, so conspiratorial, that they see problems in everything, even when problems may not exist. What inspired me to make this video? I decided to make this video after watching another video about the game Clair Obscur. Excuse me. This YouTuber does a deep dive into the companies and people behind this game and its success. Although it was definitely informative, since I learned some things I did not know, I believe the conclusions he arrives at are objectively incorrect. Clair Obscur is portrayed as a humble indie project created by dedicated people who put in the effort needed to make it big. Basically, the story is that the team began with only 3 people. They created some early game builds as a pitch. They posted on Reddit and looked around everywhere for voice actors and other people who could help with development. The composer, Lorien Testard, was found on SoundCloud, and he had never composed for a game before. Eventually the team grew, and they were taken on by the publisher, Kepler Interactive, who provided funding. Kepler Interactive itself is said to be owned by multiple developers and is dedicated to encouraging small developers to pursue their creative vision and create unconventional games that take risks and challenge the status quo. According to this YouTuber, though, the main guy leading the development of the game is apparently a man of means, who has access to significant funding, and Kepler apparently has some funding from Chinese sources, some of which believe in DEI initiatives. French entities who have woke and progressive ways of thinking seem to be involved as well. While these things are certainly concerning, I have to ask the question, does it really matter at the end of the day? So what if the lead developer was a man of means with connections? If he had a great idea for a game and was fed up with what was typical, was he not allowed to leverage his connections to make it happen? Did so doing mean that his game was no longer an indie project? Do I really care where the funding came from if the end product is fantastic? Before I use goods and services or buy food, am I supposed to exhaustively research the people and companies behind it all? Is this any way to live? I certainly don't think so. Although the video is interesting from an informational standpoint, what is really making me angry is people in the comments calling this game woke when they know absolutely nothing about it. They make all of these baseless claims saying that it's not really an indie game, that it's a high-quality vehicle for some hidden propaganda, that the writing is gynocentric, etc. As someone who has put nearly 60 hours into the game and has beaten it, I am saying they are all full of shit. During my time with the game, I saw nothing at all that could be considered woke. The story, although it had a lot of female characters, was certainly not gynocentric. There was a point where the main male character was contemplating suicide. In the beginning, after everything went unexpectedly wrong. It was a woman who told him he needed to keep going. That's not woke, in my opinion. One of the main purposes of women is to be helpful and supportive to the men in their lives. All men fail and need help sometimes. No one is perfect. There is no rule that says a woman cannot be the person to help and encourage. There's a point in the game later on where the same man takes charge and tells the woman she can decide to go with him or stay behind. So there's definitely some give and take happening. Ultimately, the resolution of the main story is as non-woke as could be imagined. Heavy spoilers incoming. The core of the game's story is the Descendre family and how they deal with grief. Aline and Renoir's son, Verso, died in a fire saving his sister, Alicia. Verso had painted a canvas world before he died. Aline, who was grief-stricken, created a painted copy of their family in his canvas, including a copy of Verso with his memories, and she escaped into the canvas. At one point, Alicia enters the canvas. Having suffered severe injuries from the fire and also unable to deal with her grief, she wants to stay there indefinitely, risking her body in the real world dying. Both Painted Verso and Renoir want Aline and Alicia to leave the canvas so they can grieve and move on with their lives. Aline and Alicia want to stay, and it is tearing the family apart. Renoir wants what is best for his family. The whole game is about Renoir's battle with his wife in the canvas. His battle to save his family. The men were right. The women were wrong. And that is not woke at all. In fact, it mirrors how reality often is. Women tend to think emotionally, while men are more logical and grounded in their thinking. Ironically enough, the lead writer was female. I've said a lot. The main point I'm trying to make here is that Clair Obscur is not woke, and anyone who says it is a fucking idiot. The secondary point I am making is that we need to be wary of the extreme anti-woke. These people on the fringe of our movement are as bad as the woke. They hate everything. They are addicted to being miserable and outraged. There is such a thing as going too far in the opposite direction. People are doing this with Stellar Blade as well. They are still hung up on those outfits that were modified early on, in spite of the fact that we have since gotten additional outfits that are much more lewd. You have to know when to let things go, and when something is not worth making a big deal over. Don't be like the extreme anti-woke. You will be forever miserable. Also, play Clair Obscur. It is one of the most amazing games ever made. That's it. See you in the next video.